97, we are talking law with Despina Priala. If you missed today's program or perhaps any of the programs for the last 3 and a bit years, you can check them all out on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/Priala Legal. And you'll find all of the videos there, and you can get all the information 24 hours a day. Just check it out on YouTube.
That's it. Thank you so much, Wayno. And now, Despina, animal dander. I loved it. We should have recorded it off air. You go, guys, what's animal dander? And I'm like, is it a type of deer? And the conversation went all these different ways, and none of us actually knew what animal dander even was. So before we jump into it, this obviously is quite serious, and it's affecting people moving into their dream units. Animal dander. So what is it?
Yes, so you want to listen up, because this is all about community living, buying that unit in that high rise, because it's all about whether, right, you can have your pets with you. So what is animal dander? And it is, believe it or not, a real thing. Yes. So the definition of it, right, is this: skin cells shed by animals with fur or feathers. So, for example, yeah, cats, dogs, guinea pigs, rabbits, birds. Okay, so what we're concentrating on here today is cats and dogs, obviously being the primary type of pet that you want approved to move in with you in a high rise, right? So at the core, if you want to buy an apartment, you are in community living, high rise, or even if it's a mid rise, like 6 to 8 levels. So there is a body corporate. If you want to bring a pet, you have to get body corporate approval. Now, we've talked about it on the show before, and we know in Queensland there are new laws coming in. But even with these new laws that are not yet passed, but they're coming, now what we're dealing with is very difficult situations that some buyers might find themselves in, because believe it or not, even where you think that your dog is lovely and fluffy and no nuisance and doesn't bark and, is very well behaved, that could mean absolutely nothing if there is someone in the building that has been diagnosed with a medical condition, right? So there's proof, not just someone saying, I've got a condition and they really hate dogs. If they've been diagnosed with a condition where they are allergic, right? And this animal dander is about these particles that apparently are shed from the dog's fur, for example, that are in the atmosphere. So people are saying, oh yeah, but what if I put my dog in a cage and I leave my apartment, walk to the foyer, take the lift, go downstairs, walk in the foyer, the reception area, walk around the common area? What's the big deal? Well, apparently, and I'm no doctor, that apparently even if you put a dog in a cage, these particles, can come off the dog's fur somehow, and they're in the air. And if a lot owner comes into common property areas and they have this condition, then in some cases, as I'll explain today, there's been examples where people have said, oh, I can get an anaphylactic shock. I can have very severe allergies to this animal dander.
There you go.
Yeah. So it's a real thing. So why do I want to mention it? Well, unfortunately, we've been exposed. When I say exposed, we've had the situation up here at the northern end where we've had some buyers wanting to buy in a particular high rise. Now, I won't name that particular high rise on air, although there are cases by the adjudicator's office that actually name the building. But if anybody wants to know what that is, I'm happy to tell them off air, because if you love pets and you want your pet with you, you do not want to buy into this building. Absolutely not. There's been continual pet applications denied, refused, denied, refused. And I've read all of the applications being made, particularly this year. And there's an actual case that's been determined earlier in this year. And there's other applications made to the adjudicator's office, to the tribunal, that are pending. So it's a very big deal. It seems that this building has got this, history about rejecting pet applications. So when I delved into it a bit further, but got a full body corporate record search and looked at the history, it was because only one or two lot owners in a very big high rise at the north end here, so you got 150 or 200 lot owners, say, I have this medical condition. So when you think about that, it's extraordinary, isn't it, that of say 150 lot owners, two can upset the balance. When I say upset the balance, the balance of those people who have the right to use and enjoy their apartments with their pets, right, which should not be prohibitive, who have had their pet applications denied. Now, there's a particular case where someone bought into the penthouse on this particular building, was determined earlier this year. And it was very unfortunate. Those people out there that are pet lovers will understand. They lodged a very well thought out application, considered a number of things. The owners who bought the penthouse have put a lot of measures in place. They said, look, we're going to take all these steps to minimize, the possibility of someone getting an allergic reaction. And that seems all very reasonable, doesn't it? Even with that, the application was denied. Even with that. And what's happened with those people is because there was the situation where they couldn't live with their pet animal, their family pet. So their pet was distraught because the pet was away living with someone else. The family was distraught. Yeah. So the family actually ended up moving out of the penthouse. I mean, when you think about it, that's ridiculous, isn't it? So, yeah, it's a real thing that I want people to be aware of, particularly on the Gold Coast. I'm not aware of any buildings up, North Queensland, Sunshine Coast, but there could be. And this is one building only that I'm aware of. There could be other buildings where people have said, I have a medical condition that's actually been proven with a medical certificate, right? Not just someone saying I do, where it has caused one person to move in and have their pet application denied.
Can you, for instance, the case with the people in the penthouse, can you apply for, the approval for your pet before you buy, or is that process super lengthy? So fear of missing out, you just buy your place, you jump into it and hope for the best, or? Yep.
So that's a good question. So people normally will wait till they become the owners and then lodge the application. But even if they lodged it before, it'll take a while for the committee to receive the application and have it determined at a committee meeting. But then this is the next thing. If it's been rejected in this building, you got Buckley's, it looks like, of getting your pet application approved. They'll just reject. You then have to go to the tribunal to apply for that to be overturned. Now, that's an 8-month wait. Current.
Gosh.
Yep.
So can you imagine buying into an apartment, moving in, thinking, my little nice fluffy dog, or even my 18.5 kilo dog that's no trouble, can't come with me. I now have to wait minimum 8 months to get a determination by the adjudicator's office, which may or may not be a very good outcome for them. So how can we try and avoid this, right? Or not avoid, but how can we, what steps can someone take to try and find out if a building is like that? The only way is to have your contract subject to a body corporate records search. So then your contract's conditional. You get the search done in the first 14 days. You get your solicitor to get the search, read the report. I have the person who does the search, because there's a particular agent that does these searches, check for, is there a history of pet applications being denied or refused, right? So they were specifically looking for that. If you don't do that and you move in, it could be disastrous. And I'm saying to people out there, this is a very real live thing. So you think that it's safe in Queensland. Oh, look, my pet applications can't be denied. They can be on this basis. And so you've got the body corporate has to act reasonably, yes, when they've got applications, but the body corporate has to have and achieve this balance between competing individual rights in a building versus the collective responsibility.
Well, it sounds like if you do your body corporate record search and you find that that's the case, maybe you might need to look elsewhere to live.
Well, look, I think you have to be very cautious. I mean, the rights of residents to keep pets is one of the most common and contentious disagreements between body corporates and lot owners. It still is today. So and you need to explain that to agents. Some agents on the coast are very much aware of this building at the north end. So they know what's going on in that building. So when you are negotiating your contract, you need to say to your agent, look, I have a pet. It's extremely important to me. If I don't get my pet in, I will be absolutely distraught and very unhappy with you. I need my contract subject to a body corporate record search for this reason alone. I need to know if there's a history in this building. It's very important. So I'm putting it out there to people. Be aware of this. It's very much real and it could affect you as a buyer. So take that precaution. That is my advice. And look, when the outcome of this decision comes for this particular building, which we're waiting for, someone else has lodged an application with the adjudicator's office, I will let you know of that outcome.
Yeah, for all our pet lovers on the Gold Coast this morning, thank you so much, Despina. If anyone wants to get in touch with you directly about a legal question of any kind, where can they go?
So can phone the office 55 291 294, email info@prialalegal.com.au. And look, I'm always happy to tell people off air which building this is, because I think people need to be aware of that if they're looking for apartments at the North End. And certainly if you want to put a question in, put it on the community Facebook page for Breakfast Radio 97.
Very good. And we'll do it all again next week.
See you then, guys.
Are you confused about legal jargon? Do you need legal advice but don't know where to turn? Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97. Despina, a leading lawyer with over 20 years of experience, will demystify the law and provide practical advice to help you navigate legal issues. Whether it's a family matter, a property dispute, or a business concern, Talking Law has got you covered. Don't miss out on this valuable resource. Tune in to Talking Law with Despina Priala every Thursday morning at 8:30 on Radio 97.